So you're thinking about getting that Microsoft AI-900 certification, right? It's a super popular way to get your foot in the door of the AI world. But the exam itself, it can feel like a bit of a black box. Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and lay out the entire exam pattern for you so you know exactly what you're walking into. Let's do this. So we're diving deep into one single question. What is the pattern of the Microsoft AI-900 exam? And by the time we're done here, you're going to have a crystal clear roadmap for test day. First things first, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. Who is this exam really for? Because, understanding the audience is the key to understanding how the whole thing is designed. Yeah, the number one thing you've got to get about the AI-900 is that it's built to be accessible. This isn't some high-level exam just for coding wizards or data science veterans. Microsoft really designed this as a launchpad for pretty much anyone, whether you're in a technical role or not, who just wants to get a solid handle on AI fundamentals. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the exam vitals. These are the core numbers you absolutely need to know before you even think about hitting that Book Now button. So here's the quick breakdown. You're looking at somewhere between 40 and 60 questions. But, and this is a big but, look at that time limit, just 45 minutes. That's less than a minute per question, which means you have to be on your toes. Pacing is everything. The cost is $99 and you'll book it through either Pearson VUE or Certiport. And here it is. This is the magic number. You need a 700 to pass. Now, it's really important to note this is a scaled score out of 1,000. It doesn't just mean you need to get 70% of the questions right. See, some questions might be easier and worth less, while harder ones could be worth more. So that final score really reflects the difficulty of the specific test you get. Okay, so we've got the numbers down, but what about the questions themselves? What are they actually going to look like when you're sitting there? Well, it's not as simple as you might think. Let's take a peek at the different formats you're going to come up against. Right. If you're just expecting a plain old multiple choice quiz, you might be in for a little shock. Microsoft uses a whole mix of interactive questions to make sure you actually understand the concepts, not just memorize them. So check out the variety here. Of course, you'll have your standard multiple choice, but you'll also see things like drag and drop questions and matching definitions. But the one that I think is really cool, the one that really shows you what this test is about, is the hotspot question. And this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Someone on Reddit shared their experience, and they said they literally got a screenshot of the Azure portal, and the question was basically, where do you click to do this thing? That's a hotspot question. It proves the exam isn't just theory. It tests if you're actually familiar with the real-world interface. All right, so we know how they ask the questions. But now let's talk about the what. What stuff are they actually going to test you on? This is the official syllabus, the skills they're measuring. Now listen up, because this is huge. As of the latest update, the exam has a major new focus. Just look at this chart. Generative AI is now the single biggest slice of the pie, making up a whopping 20 to 25% of the exam. The other core areas, like AI workloads, machine learning, and so on, they're all pretty evenly weighted at around 15 to 20% each. This shift tells you everything you need to know about where the industry is heading. So the big takeaway here is you've got to be up to speed on the new stuff. The exam is now specifically going to ask you about services like Azure OpenAI, that's the service that brings models like GPT-4 into Azure, and the Azure AI Foundry. Knowing these isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's absolutely essential to pass. So the million-dollar question, how do you take all this information and actually pass the test? We've looked at what successful people have done, and it really boils down to two main strategies, and it all depends on how much time you've got. Okay, strategy number one. You've got 1 or 2 weeks. This is the thorough path. You're going to go through the entire official Microsoft Learn path, watch some YouTube videos to fill in the gaps, and this is key, take those free practice assessments from Microsoft. Now, on the flip side, let's say you're in a major time crunch, the 1 to 2 day cram strategy. For this, you find a great all-in-one video course, focus like a laser on the big topics like responsible AI and generative AI, and just do practice questions over and over and over. So let's recap the best tools in your toolbox. The official Microsoft Learn Path is your Bible. The free practice assessments, that's your reality check to see if you're ready.
If you're a video person, channels like Free Code Camp and John Seville are fantastic. And seriously, don't sleep on community resources. You can find amazing notes and question dumps on places like GitHub from people who've already aced the test.
And there you have it. That is the complete playbook for the Microsoft AI 900 exam. You've got the map, you know the question types, you know the topics, you know how to study. But it does make you wonder, right? With generative AI now taking center stage, is this so-called foundational certification actually becoming the new must-have skill for just about any job out there? Something to think about. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe for more Microsoft exam tips and tricks.